Katrina's point of view.
I just got the call. I've been accepted and officially qualified to be a surrogate mother. A rush of happiness hit me so fast I almost forgot to breathe. But under that joy, something else stirred. Nerves. Deep, sharp, cold nerves. My name is Katrina Evers. I'm 25 years old. I have a little brother named Adirna. Our mother died giving birth to him, and just like that, I was left holding a newborn baby in my arms, completely clueless about what to do. I didn't know a single thing about raising a child. But by the grace of God, and with the unwavering help of our kind neighbor, Miss Olivier, I somehow did it. Then came another blow. The doctors told me Adirna had a heart condition. He needed surgery. Not next year, not someday. Now, before it got worse. I quit school. I started working, any job I could find. Cleaning, serving, babysitting, selling. I was hustling nonstop, desperate to raise the money. But no matter how hard I worked, I couldn't get close to the amount needed for his surgery. So I made the hardest decision of my life. I signed up to become a surrogate. I knew it could pay well, and at this point, I didn't care what I had to go through, only that it could save my brother's life. What I didn't expect was to be accepted so fast. Apparently, I was picked because of how I looked. That part still confuses me. But whatever the reason, I'm in. I'm going to get at least half the money. That's more than I've ever had. The doctor said Adirna would be kept at the hospital until surgery day. I couldn't tell Miss Olivier the truth, so I told her I got a job in another state. A good one. Thankfully, she didn't ask for details. Miss Olivier, will you please? I started, but she cut me off before I could finish. It's okay, honey. I'll take care of him. You go and bring the money for his surgery, all right? Okay. Thank you, Miss Olivier. Thank you for always being there. I love you both like my own grandchildren. And we love you too. We hugged tightly. Saying goodbye to Adirna crushed me, but I had to be strong. For him. I took a cab to the address I was given. We drove past thick woods with no sign of another car in sight. It was quiet, too quiet, but oddly peaceful. Then we arrived. I stepped out and my jaw dropped. The house was massive. No, mansion was the better word. Elegant, towering, and regal like something from a movie. I was lost in the sheer beauty of it when I heard someone call my name. Katrina Evers? I turned. A woman in her early 40s stood there, dressed in crisp black. Yes, ma'am, that's me. Please follow me. She led me inside. The hallway alone looked like a royal corridor, long polished floors, and the grandest staircase I'd ever seen. I stopped to stare at the steps, almost hypnotized. She cleared her throat and gave me a look. We're taking the elevator, she said as she stepped inside. This house has its own elevator, I blurted. Why not use the stairs? They're dazzling. She glanced at me, then gave me a blank expression. Why are you asking? I just think the stairs are beautiful. I wouldn't mind using them. She stared at me again, her face unreadable. We reached the 6th floor and stepped out. We passed 2 closed doors before stopping at a third. Tall, double doors, polished and intimidating. Should I knock? I asked. No need, Alpha is waiting. Alpha? Before I could question it, she motioned for me to enter. I pushed the doors open and walked into a large office. 2 huge bookshelves lined the walls. Dark leather couches flanked the space, and a solid wood desk sat at the center like a throne. The air smelled expensive and intoxicating. Done with your inspection? The voice startled me, deep, rich, male. I turned and saw him leaning against the doorway of what looked like a bathroom. He had dark brown hair, sharp blue eyes, and a body that looked carved from stone. Tall, intimidating, stunning. Hello. My name is... I know who you are, and I know why you're here. What is up with the people in this house? He moved past me and sat behind his desk. Please, sit. I obeyed. So, Miss Katrina. Yes? Why do you want to be a surrogate mother? I need the money for my brother's surgery. What's wrong with your brother? I told him everything. His expression didn't change. He stayed quiet for a long moment. How much do you need? $250,000. You do realize the contract says you'll only be paid $80,000? He asked. I swallowed, hard. He stared at me. How do you expect to cover the rest? I didn't answer. What could I say? I'll give you $370,000, he said, but only if you agree to have sex with me. My brain short-circuited. You'll asterisk? What asterisk? I want you to get pregnant naturally. No insemination, just you and me. I stared at him. Are you serious? Dead serious. It's your choice. I thought about it. About my brother lying in that hospital bed. About how this money could save him. I hated this. Hated that I was even considering it. But I had no other way. I'll do it, I whispered. For my brother. He nodded. You'll have your own bedroom, he said. You'll get a credit card. Use it for whatever you want, but no cash withdrawals. For the next 2 weeks, you'll sleep in my asterisk bedroom. We'll have sex every night until you get pregnant. No going out without permission or security. And one more thing. He leaned in. No boyfriends. After you sign this contract, you belong to me. He slid the paper toward me, along with a pen. His signature was already on it. My hands trembled. He saw it. Take your time, he said. But I didn't want to risk him changing his mind. This was everything I needed. I signed. And that was it. It was now or never. He gave me a smile and I blushed. He was too gorgeous to look at for more than a second without feeling overwhelmed. I'm going to call someone to show you your room, he said calmly. I nodded, and barely 2 seconds later, there was a knock on the door. He didn't touch a phone, nothing. Yet somehow, someone was already there. Come in, he said. A woman walked in. She looked around my age. I glanced at him, then her, and silently wondered, how did he call her without a phone? Miss Catriona, he began. This is Sandra. She'll show you to your room and give you a tour of the house. If you need anything, tell her. I nodded again, silently. Sandra gave him a respectful bow of her head before gesturing for me to follow. She led me through the hallway, then stopped at a door and pushed it open for me. The room was huge. There was a king-sized bed with crisp white sheets, 2 wide windows, and a sliding glass door that led out to a balcony. On the balcony, there was a cozy wicker love seat meant for 2, perfectly positioned to overlook the woods. Do you like it? She asked from behind me. I hadn't noticed she'd followed me inside. No, I don't like it, I said, turning to her with a small smile. I love it. That's good to hear, she replied warmly. I'm Sandra. I'm Katrina, I said. We exchanged a soft smile. If you ever need anything, just let me know, she added. Okay, but how will I even find you in this big house? She chuckled. I'll give you my number. Just text me and I'll be there instantly. I took the number, still confused. Is that what he did? But I didn't see him use a phone to call you. Who? The man from the office. Oh, you mean Alpha? I blinked. Alpha? Is that his name? She smiled. That's what we call him. He's our Alpha. What did he do then? I mean, how did you know to come without him calling? She shrugged casually. He texted me. I narrowed my eyes slightly, unconvinced. Really? Yes, she replied, a little too quickly. Anyway, I'll head out for now. I'll come back later when dinner's ready. If you're hungry before then, just let me know. I'll bring you something. No thanks. I'm fine for now. I appreciate the gesture, though. She smiled again, handed me her number, and left. After unpacking and taking a long shower, I picked up my phone and called Miss Olivier. She answered on the 4th ring. Hello, honey. Sorry, I was in the kitchen preparing something for Adrien, she said, sounding slightly out of breath. It's okay, Miss Olivier. You don't have to explain, I said gently. How are you, honey? Did you arrive safely? Yes, I got here fine. How's Adrien? He's doing okay. I'm making him something to take to the hospital. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to work hard so he can get the best treatment. Good, child. Do that. And don't forget to pray every day. I won't, Miss Olivier. I promise. After the call, I stepped out onto the balcony. The air was fresh, cool. The mansion stood deep in the woods with no neighbors in sight. The only companions were tall trees swaying gently in the wind and a beautiful glassy lake. It was peaceful and isolated. A nap seemed like the next best thing, but just as I was settling into bed, a knock startled me. "Come in," I called. The door opened slowly, and there he was, Mr. Alpha. "I need to talk to you," he said, stepping in. "Okay," I replied, sitting up. He took a seat on the small couch across from me. "Do you like your room?" "Yes, I love it. It's way bigger than mine back home." "I'm glad you do," he said, then paused. His tone shifted. "I came to inform you of a slight change in the contract." I stayed quiet, waiting. "We'll be having sex every day until you get pregnant. Once that happens, we'll stop." My heart dropped. My lips parted, but no words came. Then I nodded. I'd already signed the contract. "This room is right opposite mine. Every night at exactly 11:30 p.m., you'll come to me, understood?" "Yes, Mr. Alpha," I said. He stared at me, sharp and intense. "Who told you to call me that?" I stuttered. "Everyone here calls you Alpha, so I assumed it was your name." "My name is Jayden Evers. You can call me Jayden," he said. "Okay, Jayden." He stood up. I did too, but I didn't realize how close he was until I nearly bumped into his chest. He towered over me. "Sorry," I muttered, stepping back. "How's your brother?" "He's okay." "Give me your account number," he said. "I'm transferring $270,000. You'll get the rest after you're pregnant." I gave it to him, and he left. I must have passed out after that because when I woke up, it was pitch dark. I checked the time, 8:15 p.m. My stomach growled so loud I groaned. I grabbed my phone and texted Sandra. Within *seconds*, she walked in. "Hey girl, how was your sleep?" I blinked at her. "Were you nearby?" "No, why?" "I just texted you, and here you are." She laughed awkwardly. "I exercise a lot, I'm fast." "Right. I actually came earlier to tell you dinner was ready, but you were sleeping so deeply." "Why didn't you wake me?" "Alpha told me to let you rest." Just hearing his name makes my heart skip. I pinched my cheek hard. "Snap out of it, girl." "Sandra, I texted because I'm starving." "Come on, let's get food." She led me toward the elevator, but I stopped. "Let's use the stairs instead." She didn't question it. We descended and I was glad. The stairs glowed with warm lights from different corners, and the whole place shimmered with elegance. "Wow, this house is huge. I could eat dinner on these stairs," I joked. She burst into laughter. "I have a lot of questions for you, Sandra." "You can ask, but not tonight." "Fair enough." After dinner, I went back up by stairs again and showered. I stood in front of the mirror staring at myself. Any minute from now, I won't be a virgin anymore. I kept it for so long, waiting for the man I prayed God would bring me, and now, I was breaking that promise. I pulled on my favorite nightdress. My legs felt like jelly. I left my room and walked across to his. I hesitated, then knocked gently. "Come in," came that deep, husky voice. I entered and shut the door behind me. His room was massive. A hallway led in. To the left was a bathroom and a huge walk-in closet. I followed the dim lighting until I reached the main bedroom. The king-sized bed sat in the center. A large TV, 2 couches, and a sleek coffee table filled the space. It smelled like him, woodsy and expensive. He was standing near the wide glass window, staring out. When he turned, his gaze locked onto mine. He walked toward me, stopping just inches away. With 2 fingers, he gently lifted my chin. "Are you nervous?" he asked softly. "A little," I admitted. "Don't be. I won't hurt you. I'll be gentle, it's your first time." My breath caught. How did he know? It's my first time. He leaned down, brushing his lips against mine. I responded without thinking, melting into his touch. When his tongue flicked against my lips, asking for entrance, I parted them for him, letting him in. Our tongues moved in sync, exploring, learning, wanting. I reached under his shirt, trying to lift it off, but he was too tall for me to manage. "I'll do it for you," he murmured, pulling the shirt over his head in one smooth motion. My fingers trailed across his chest, curious and eager. His hands moved to the hem of my nightdress, pulling it over my head and tossing it aside. He took in the sight of me, his gaze slow and intense. It made my skin heat up in a way I'd never felt before. "No more waiting," he said, scooping me up bridal style and placing me gently on the bed. He hovered above me, his lips finding mine again before traveling lower, to my neck, then my collarbone, and finally to my chest. I gasped when he gently squeezed and then teased my sensitive peaks, sending a rush through my body that made me arch into him. His mouth found my skin again, and when his lips closed around me, I let out a soft sound I couldn't hold back. "I'm going to take care of you," he said, eyes glinting with heat as he trailed kisses lower across my belly. He spread my thighs and my breath caught. "You don't have to," I started, shy and unsure. "Why not?" he asked, pausing to look at me. I hesitated. "Because I don't think I'm beautiful down there." He came back up and kissed me softly. "You have no idea how wrong you are." His lips resumed their path downward and I tensed, but then let go. My hands gripped the sheets, the pleasure unlike anything I'd ever known. "Don't cover your mouth," he whispered, pausing briefly. "This room is soundproof. Let me hear you." My heart pounded wildly as he continued, his mouth working skillfully. The sensation built until I was trembling beneath him, breathless. My hands tangled in his hair as I shattered with a loud cry I couldn't control. When he pulled back, his lips were glistening. "You taste incredible," he said with a wicked smirk. "Want to know what you taste like?" He kissed me again, letting me feel it on his tongue. My cheeks burned, but I didn't pull away. "Why are you doing this?" I whispered, unsure if I was talking to him or myself. "Why what?" "I just want to return the favor," I said instead. "Not tonight," he murmured. "Are you ready for more?" Still breathless, still dazed, I nodded. "Yes." He stood to take off his pants, and when his body was fully revealed, I stared. My nerves spiked. He was large, and I didn't know how he would fit. "I'll make it fit," he said like he could read my mind. "How did you know I was thinking that?" I whispered. He just smiled. He moved over me, positioning himself gently. I winced when he tried to push in. My body wasn't used to this, wasn't ready for someone his size. "I don't want to hurt you," he said softly, "but I will stretch you slowly." The pain made me flinch, my breath catching as he pushed in further. "I think it's not going to work," I said, voice shaky. "It will. Just hold on to me." Eventually, he managed to enter, and I cried out, overwhelmed by the mix of pain and pleasure. My eyes filled with tears. "Does it hurt?" he asked, clearly worried. "You're not hurting me, but it hurts," I said, confusing even myself. He pulled out slowly, looking conflicted. "This is your first time. I know it's painful now, but next time it won't be. We'll take it slow. You need to get used to me." He didn't finish inside me. He stood up, his body still tense. "Let's stop here. I don't want to hurt you. It's late. You need rest." "But you didn't finish," I said quietly. He turned back, his face softening. "Don't worry about me. I'll handle it." "How?" He just smiled. "Sleep. We'll talk tomorrow." Then he disappeared into the bathroom. I closed my eyes, exhausted. The next morning, the sunlight poured into the room, warm and golden. I blinked awake, sore and wrapped in the soft sheets. "Good morning." His deep voice echoed from across the room. He stood at the glass window, hands in his pockets, looking out. I sat up slowly, wincing from the soreness between my thighs. "I prepared a hot bath. he said. It'll help with the pain. When you're done, come down for breakfast. He left, and I headed to the bathroom. The bathtub was huge, and as I slipped in, the hot water stung at first, but then relaxed every muscle. I felt small and warm in it, safe. After drying off and dressing, I stepped into the elevator. In the kitchen, I heard voices from another room. Sandra greeted me and led me to a massive dining area, full of people of all ages. "What is this place?" I whispered. "This is where we eat breakfast and dinner," she said. "Come on in." I sat, feeling every eye in the room on me. "She's human," someone murmured. The food was ready, but no one touched it. "Why aren't they eating?" I asked. "We wait for the alpha." "Wait for permission?" Before she could answer, everyone stood. I froze. "Long live Alpha," they said in unison. He entered the room, jeans, black shirt, calm power in every step. He nodded, then came to sit beside me. Our arms brushed and my heart raced. Breakfast passed in silence. When it was over, people started leaving. "Let's go," Sandra said. "The cleaning staff will be here soon." As we left, I asked, "Who owns this place?" "Our Alpha," she said. "He provides everything, bills, food, hospital costs. But all of you, you're not family. He saved us from she paused, from being homeless." I tilted my head. "Where does he get the money to take care of everyone?" She opened her mouth, then froze. Her eyes widened in fear. "Alpha?" she whispered. A deep voice cut in. "I'll give you the answer." I turned slowly and saw Jayden, eyes dark and dangerous, watching me. He seized my hand and dragged me into his office. His grip was firm, unyielding. He didn't even let go when he slammed the door shut behind us. "What did you come here for?" he barked. My voice caught. "You what?" he snapped, cutting me off like a whip. "If you know why you're here, stop poking your nose into my business," he growled. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. He finally released my hand and stormed over to his desk, sitting down like a king on a throne, his eyes narrowing as he examined me. "Listen to me, Miss Catrium. Yona, if you ask Sandra even one more question about this house or me, she'll be the one who suffers for it." "No, please, I won't ask her anything anymore," I said quickly, fear gripping my throat. "Very good. Then behave yourself, woman. You didn't come here to do research on my house or my people." "I promise, I won't," I said quietly. I left his office and went looking for Sandra, determined to make things right. I found her just as she was heading into the laundry room with a basket full of dirty clothes. "Hey, Sandra," I called out. She turned, smiling at me. "Hey to you too. Is everything okay?" "Yes, everything's fine," I replied, then hesitated. "Sandra, why are you so scared of him?" Her smile faded. I immediately remembered the warning and raised my hand. "Forget I said anything. No more questions from now on. But will you give me a tour of the house?" "Sure I will," she said softly. She turned on the washing machine, set the timer, and motioned for me to follow her. Later that evening, I changed into my workout clothes and headed to the basement. Sandra had taken me on a tour earlier, showing me the massive mansion with its 6 wings downstairs and 3 upstairs, including the servants' quarters. She left out 4 closed doors, though. When I asked her why, she simply said, "It's inappropriate for a human like you to enter those." Her tone said it wasn't up for discussion. This house was insane. It had its own hospital, a supermarket, and clothing stores for men, women, and children. Every stage of life covered, even a swimming pool. When I asked her if all of it belonged to Jayden, she nodded. "It's all his?" "Well, our Alpha provides everything," she explained. "But we buy our own clothes, except the orphans. They're fully provided for." We didn't have time for a full basement tour, but she told me the gym was down there. I descended the stairs and stopped when I reached the last step. My breath caught. A stunning raindrop chandelier, dripping in black and gold crystals, hung from the ceiling. The entire basement was styled in deep black and shimmering gold, elegant and fierce. I wandered around, taking it all in. There were 3 extra bedrooms, each with a different design. A sleek kitchen with a built-in wine bar set in one corner. Down the hallway, I spotted a door labeled Gym. A little dramatic, but at least you can't get lost. I smiled and stepped inside. The gym was huge, well lit and neatly organized. Machines lined the walls, weights stacked perfectly. I started with the treadmill, jogging lightly for 45 minutes. Then I grabbed the jump rope, my favorite. I normally jump between 500 to 1,000 times, depending on my mood. Today, I was aiming high. I tucked my earpieces in, set a timer, and started jumping. Mid-workout, a beam of light cut through the gym that hadn't been there before. I turned and saw him, Jayden. I stopped at 400 and removed one earpiece. "You need to open the windows before you start your workouts," he said flatly. "Sorry, I didn't know they were hidden," I muttered. "Next time I'll keep that in mind." He didn't answer, just went to the hack squat machine and began training. I watched him, because really, how could I not? That man looked like he was carved from sin and stone. I kept jumping, finished my 1,000, sat down, watched him switch to the lat pull down. His eyes were closed as he worked, completely lost in his own world. Gorgeous didn't even begin to cover it. "Is staring at people one of your hobbies?" he asked suddenly. I nearly choked on my water. His damn eyes were still closed. "If you're done exercising, leave. No point in sticking around," he said coldly. "Leave." I got up, grabbed my things, and muttered, "Why is he always such an arrogant jerk?" Later that night, I went downstairs for dinner. As I entered the kitchen, I heard two women whispering, "What does Alpha want with that black woman?" My heart sank. I cleared my throat loudly. "Are you talking about me?" They turned red, denied it awkwardly, and quickly disappeared. An older woman, probably in her 70s, gave me a kind smile and patted the seat beside her. "Come here, dear. What's your name?" "Catriona Jonah, but you can call me Kate." "I'm Samantha. Most people here call me Godmother," she said warmly. "I'll call you that too, if you don't mind." She chuckled. "I don't. Are you Jayden's woman?" I'm just his—" "Dinner's ready," someone called out. I exhaled in relief. "Let's eat, Godmother. We can talk later." We all sat down, waiting for His Highness. 35 minutes later, he walked in. Everyone stood up. I didn't. He's not a sterisk, my asterisk alpha. He looked worried. His usually perfect hair was messy. I glanced at him once, then kept eating. After dinner, people left. I carried my plate into the kitchen and then spotted him heading into the elevator. I rushed toward it and slipped in just before the doors closed, tripped over my foot and bumped into him. "You okay?" he asked, studying me. "Yes, I'm fine." "Watch your step next time," he said. We locked eyes. His arms still around me. The air shifted. I pulled away quickly. "Are you okay?" I asked him. "I'm fine, as you can see." "Stop lying. Something's bothering you," I said quietly, surprised by how sure I was. He stared into my eyes, said nothing. When we stepped out of the elevator, I touched his hand. "Listen, Jayden, if something—" "Enough, human, that's enough," he snapped. I flinched. "I'm sorry." I went back to my room, heart heavy. I sat down, picked up my phone, and called Miss Olivier. She answered on the first ring. "Hi, child." "Hi, Miss Olivier. How are you all?" "We're fine, dear. How are you over there? Everything okay?" "Yes, everything's good. How's Adrien?" "He's much better. You'd talk to him, but he's asleep now." "It's okay. Let him rest." I hung up and stepped onto the balcony for fresh air. Just as I was about to sit, I noticed 3 men standing near the gate, staring up at me. I didn't think much of it, probably members of the household. I sat down, opened my Instagram, and tried to push everything else out of my mind.
Jayden's point of view.
I sat in my office pretending to work, but my thoughts were scattered like ashes in the wind. My mind wasn't here. Not now. Not with everything piling up. A war is brewing in another pack, far from here, but close enough to threaten everything I've built. Their alpha was ambushed. slaughtered by vampires. That's what his men said. He was outnumbered, overwhelmed. They didn't stand a chance. Now it's my responsibility to restore order, to choose a new alpha to lead them, one strong enough to protect what's left. But that means staging a challenge, a brutal one. Two of the most powerful wolves I know will fight for that position, and only one will walk away standing. I pushed back from my desk and walked to the window, dragging a hand through my hair. That's when I saw him. A figure. Tall. Still. My heart slammed against my ribs. It couldn't be. The man standing by the gate looked exactly like the vampire I killed 3 decades ago. The same sharp jaw, the same dead, hollow stare. I didn't think. I shifted on the spot and tore through the front doors, into the woods, chasing a scent that didn't exist. The forest wrapped around me like smoke. I ran hard, breathing in every trace of the wind. But nothing. No scent, no sound. Just shadows. But I knew that smell once. All vampires stink of death, but his scent was different. It had something ancient in it, something foul, something unforgettable. And I'll never forget it. Still, no trace. Maybe it was just a trick of the light, a ghost from my past. I turned around and sprinted back toward the house, shifting mid-run, letting the familiar ache of bones snapping bring me back to reality. When the pack house came into view, I shifted back, naked, cold, and pissed. I stormed to my room, slammed the door, threw open the closet, and yanked on the first clothes I found. I didn't care what I wore. I just needed to breathe, needed dinner, needed something to distract me from the storm in my chest. After dinner, and after snapping at Katrina, I returned to my office, but I couldn't focus. I feel like shit for yelling at her. She was just trying to be kind. But seeing that face, or what I thought I saw, shook me. It cracked something open inside me I buried years ago. I collapsed on the couch and passed out from exhaustion. When I woke up, the clock read 23:40. Damn it. I dragged myself up and into the bathroom. The shower was quick and cold, just how I like it when I need to clear my head. I stepped out, drying my hair with a towel, water trailing down my chest. I walked into my closet, pulled on my pajama pants, and carried the shirt in my hand as I stepped back into the bedroom and stopped dead in my tracks. She was sitting there, Katrina, perched on the edge of my bed like sin wrapped in velvet. Her posture was relaxed but intentional, legs crossed, back straight, lips parted just slightly. Her gaze didn't flinch when it met mine. "You're late," she said softly, her voice a dangerous kind of sweet. Today drained the life out of me. I was so buried in work and stress that I forgot everything else, even her. "Are you all right?" she asked softly. "Yeah, I'm fine." She got to her feet and walked toward me. God, she looked incredible. Smooth, rich skin glowing in the low light, her brown eyes deep and watching me closely. And those dimples? Damn. Every time she smiled, I felt it in my chest. She stopped just in front of me, close enough that her scent hit me. Warm, sweet, and addictive. "Mr. Jayden," she started, voice quiet but firm. "I know you don't want me poking around in your business, but I can't help it. I don't even know how to explain this feeling. I just hate seeing you this troubled." "You don't need to explain it," I thought to myself. "I know exactly what that feeling is." She wasn't tall, not too slim, not too thick, just soft and real in all the right ways. I had to bend slightly to meet her lips. I pulled her gently into my arms and dipped my head, inhaling her scent like it could fix everything inside me. Oh, it calmed me, instantly. Then I kissed her, hungrily at first. But I had to slow down. This was only her second time. She was still new to all of me. So I softened it, made it tender, letting her know she was safe with me. She responded with a quiet fire, hands gliding up and down my torso, stoking the heat between us. My body was more than ready. She untied the towel around my waist and let it fall. Her fingers wrapped around me, slow strokes, teasing me. Then she dropped to her knees, lips brushing over the tip, tongue swirling, tasting me. My head fell back. Fuck, I groaned. That feels so fucking good. It had been too damn long since anyone touched me like this. She sucked slowly, savoring it, trying to take all of me in. She couldn't, not with my size, but she tried. I gripped her hair, not rough, just enough to guide her, to feel her mouth on me while I controlled the pace. I stopped to ask, "Are you okay with this?" She nodded with no hesitation. Then she went back to it, sucking, spitting, stroking, devouring me. The wet sounds filled the room, sinful, imperfect. "Where did you learn this?" I asked, voice hoarse, eyes shut. "Porn," she answered like it was nothing. "You what?" "I don't watch it often. I just wanted to learn something new," she said, eyes flicking down to my cock with a little smirk. "Like this." She took me deep again, and when her eyes met mine with my cock buried in her mouth, I almost lost control. I pulled out before I came too soon. She pushed me back on the bed, taking charge, stripped off her nightie and stood there letting me admire her. "You have the most beautiful body I've ever seen," I told her, and I meant it. She climbed onto the bed, spread her thighs, and eased herself onto me. She was soaking wet, but I could feel her hesitation when she tried to take me in. My cock was rock hard. I couldn't take the teasing anymore. I gripped her hips and pushed inside her in one deep thrust. She gasped, eyes wide. "I didn't see that coming." "Sorry," I whispered. "You were torturing me." She adjusted, then began moving at her own pace, slow and deep. I cupped her breasts, thumbs brushing over her nipples, and she tilted her head back with a soft moan that made my cock twitch inside her. I couldn't take it anymore. I flipped her under me and took the lead, pounding into her tight, wet heat. Her moans turned into cries of pleasure as I pushed deeper, faster. The room was silent except for her voice screaming my name and the wet slap of our bodies colliding. She came hard, her body trembling around me, but I didn't stop. I kept going until I came to, exploding deep inside her. I waited as her body shook with the aftershocks of her orgasm, holding her until she stopped trembling. Then I pulled out slowly and collapsed beside her. "That was incredible," I murmured. "Did you enjoy it?" She turned to me smiling. "Very much." She started to get up. "I'll go get some warm towels." "No." I grabbed her waist and pulled her back down. "Let's just shower in the morning." She settled against me, warm and soft, and just like that, we drifted off to sleep, wrapped in each other, the night silent around us. That morning, I was heading into the bathroom when my phone rang. I grabbed it quickly so the sound wouldn't wake Katrina. It was Jerome calling. I stepped into my office and shut the door behind me. "What's up, Jerome?" "Alpha," he answered. "I've done everything you sent me to do, but as the top alpha, your presence is required at the upcoming alphas meeting." Jerome was my beta. I had sent him to another territory to scout the area and arrange a location for the upcoming fight. "I couldn't find a more suitable spot," he continued. "If you approve, the fight will happen on their estate's field. It's set for 2 weeks from now." "All right, Jerome, return immediately. I need you back here. There's something else I want you to handle." I ended the call and headed back to my room to shower. But when I entered, the bed was empty. I assumed Katrina had gone back to her room, so I stripped down and walked into the bathroom. I froze. She was there, already in the shower, water cascading down her skin. She turned in surprise and quickly covered herself. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "I should be the one asking you that," I replied, raising a brow. "This is my bathroom and I don't like sharing it. I came in to pee and thought, why not take a shower here before going back to my room?" she said, her voice timid. I stepped closer and gently pulled her hands away from where she was covering. "You don't have to hide from me," I said softly. "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've touched every inch of you. Don't be shy now." As my hands slipped between her legs, her breath hitched. We ended up having slow, intense sex under the running water, followed by a steamy shower. Afterwards, she returned to her room, and I headed back to my office. The Alpha's meeting was being held in another country. It had already been 7 weeks since I hired Katrina as my surrogate. We'd been having sex almost every day, but there was still no sign of pregnancy. Worried, I took her to the hospital to make sure there was nothing wrong with her uterus. The doctor examined her and said everything was fine. Perfect, even. Katrina Evers was everything a man could want. Beautiful, curvy, soft, sweet. And now, even as I sat in this meeting, I couldn't stop thinking about her. You're obsessed because she's your mate. That was my inner wolf growling in my head. She's our mate, not just a surrogate. You knew it the moment you laid eyes on her, didn't you? And what did you do? You ignored it. Shut the fuck up, I snapped internally. Alpha, are you okay? One of the Alphas asked, staring at me. I stood up abruptly. Let's pause the meeting. I need some air. I walked out and headed toward the shoreline nearby. The sea breeze hit my face, but my wolf's words still echoed inside me. He was right. When I first saw Katrina, I knew. She was my mate. But I turned a blind eye. Why? Because she felt too soft, too naive. I didn't want a mate like that. I wanted someone strong enough to stand beside me in war, not someone I'd have to shield every second. Still, I couldn't deny the way she made me feel. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I checked the caller ID. Sandra. Sandra, is everything okay? Yes and no, Alpha, she said nervously. It's about Katrina. I tensed. What happened? She passed out and hit her head. It's not serious, but where the hell were you when she passed out? I growled. I was right there with her, she stammered. But she asked me for some privacy. I didn't expect she'd faint. I let out a slow breath, trying to calm myself. I couldn't afford to lose control. All right, I said. How is she now? We rushed her to the hospital. The doctor said it's not serious. She's okay. Good. I'll be here for 5 more days. But until I return, don't leave her side. Even if she wants to go to the toilet, you go with her. I'm dead serious. Yes, Alpha. One more thing, she said, hesitating. What is it? She's 2 weeks pregnant.
Katrina's point of view.
I was lying on the cardiac hospital bed, an IV fluid drip stuck into the vein of my arm. My head throbbed so badly I could barely think. My head hurts, I groaned, placing my hand on it. Take it easy, girl, Sandra said gently. What happened to me? You passed out and hit your head pretty hard, she replied. Just then, the doctor walked in. Are you feeling okay, Miss Katrina? I nodded weakly. You need to be very careful from now on, he said, adjusting his glasses. You're 2 weeks pregnant. My mouth dropped open. Doctor, say that again? You're 2 weeks pregnant, he repeated. Really? I blinked at him, still struggling to believe. Yes, ma'am, you are. Wow, I was happy, relieved, after everything. Jayden and I had been having sex like we were real couples, intense, raw, and every day. But nothing had happened. I hadn't gotten pregnant, and it had stressed me out terribly. A week before Jayden left for his business trip, he'd taken me to the doctor to get examined. He worried I might be struggling to conceive. I'd been scared too. Maybe I was barren. Maybe I couldn't give him what he wanted. But now, this changed everything. Ma'am, are you okay? The doctor's voice pulled me back. I'm fine, doctor. Thank you for the good news. You're welcome. And please, call me Katrina, not ma'am. I'll try, Ma, Katrina, he said with a half smile. I'd like to be alone for a while. He nodded and left after checking the drip. Sandra, can you give me a few minutes? I asked. No, woman, I'm not making that mistake again, she said, arms crossed. What mistake? I frowned. Leaving you alone and then finding you passed out. What if something worse had happened to you? What would I tell Alpha? I have no other home. You and this pack are the only family I have, she said, her voice trembling. I groaned. Sandra, I'm literally lying on a hospital bed. I'm not going to run anywhere. And if I did, there's one door right there. If something happens to you again because of my negligence, Alpha won't forgive me. Please, if you see me as your friend, let me do what I've been asked to do. Fine, Sandra, do whatever you want. Really? No argument? I said, do what you want. She beamed, looking like I'd handed her a medal. The next morning, I was discharged. Back home, Sandra followed me like a shadow. I'm going to take a quick shower, I said, walking toward the bathroom. Where do you think you're going? She asked. To the bathroom, obviously. I'm coming with you. Excuse me? Sandra, I know you're following Alpha's orders, but this is insane. I'm going to strip and shower. I'll close my eyes. I stared at her, bewildered, speechless. This girl was made of stone. Thankfully, the shower enclosure was tinted. I stripped and tossed my clothes over the glass door. I took my time under the warm water, hoping she'd get tired and leave. But no, that girl stood like a soldier on duty. After dressing, I called my brother. His surgery was in a week. I was relieved to hear his voice. After the call, I flopped on the bed. Sandra, can you get me something to eat? Sure, I'll be quick. She headed to the door. Let's go together, she said, pausing. I glared at her. I'm not a child, Sandra. I'll stay here on this bed. You go. All right, she said and left. The phone rang. I sighed, regretting tossing it earlier. I walked over and picked it up. Jayden. Hey, Jayden. How are you feeling? I'm fine. And you? I'm good. Listen, Mr. Jayden Evers, I said sharply. Did you tell Sandra to follow me everywhere even into the bathroom? Yes. I figured I'm not a baby. I know, but please just be patient with her. For me. Until I return. Fine, but she's banned from the bathroom. So, did the doctor tell you the baby's gender? Am I having a son? I laughed softly. Jayden, it's too early. Gender comes around week 10 or so. I'm just 2 weeks in. He sighed. Jayden. I hesitated. Are you happy about this? Silence. I thought the call had dropped. Jayden? Just then, Sandra returned with bread and peanut butter. How did you know I wanted this? One of the best foods for pregnant women. I smiled and took it. Jayden, I'm hanging up. I need to eat. All right, bye. We sat on the balcony. Sandra left to answer a call. I ate quietly, enjoying the breeze. Then I saw them again. Those 3 men, watching the house. One of them locked eyes with me and smiled. He waved. I waved back. Who are you waving at? Sandra returned. I pointed, but they were gone. Where did they go? Who? No one. Never mind. I finished eating and went inside for a nap. I'll leave you to rest. Call me if you need anything. I raised an eyebrow. Not sleeping next to me? I teased. As the door shut, I drifted into sleep. I was sitting on a massive rock in the middle of the woods. A large pond sparkled nearby, surrounded by vibrant flowers. It was beautiful, quiet, still. I didn't know how I got there. Suddenly the water shimmered. Stars appeared on its surface. Then, a woman rose from the pond, naked but covered in long, silken hair. She smiled at me, the most radiant smile I'd ever seen. Her eyes glowed with both love and sorrow. You came. I knew you'd come. I've been waiting for you, she said. I turned around, looking for someone else, but there was only me. I've been waiting for you, Katriana Havers. Me? I pointed to myself. Yes, you. Why? What do you want? Do we know each other? Not in this life, but I've watched you. I'm Luciana. Nice to meet you. Luciana, I stammered. Why are you in the pond? What do you want from me? She stepped out. Thank God for that hair. I stood too, cautious but curious. I have something important to tell you. You're the only one who can help him. Help who? Jayden Evers. You know Jayden? I asked, suspicious. Yes. Jealousy pinched me. She noticed and chuckled. It's not what you think. Then what is it? What's wrong with him? I need him to know that Sophia was the one who... A terrifying growl interrupted her. We turned. A massive wolf stood at the edge of the clearing, blood dripping from its mouth. Its eyes glowed with fury. Run, Luciana whispered. The beast charged. It lunged at Luciana. Catriona, run, she screamed. But I was frozen in fear. Catriona, run, she screamed again. She managed to fight it off and leapt back into the pond. But the furious wolf turned sharply, its glowing eyes locking on me. The moment I saw it charging my way, I took off running, anywhere but here. I don't know how long I ran. My lungs burned, my legs screamed. Then I tripped. Pain shot through my leg as I hit the ground. I had broken my ankle. I looked up and saw the wolf approaching slowly, menacingly. My whole body trembled as I tried to crawl backwards. It came closer, baring its long, sharp teeth. Please, don't kill me, I cried. I'm pregnant. The moment I said that, something changed. It became even more aggressive. My heart dropped. I knew I couldn't fight or run. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for death. But nothing happened. Slowly, I opened my eyes and saw the wolf staring behind me, its expression twisted into something close to fear. What was it looking at? I turned my head and froze. Another wolf stood there, bigger, much bigger, towering over the first one, nearly twice its size. The first wolf tried to flee, but the massive one was faster. It lunged and pinned the attacker down, jaws parting to deliver the final blow. No, I screamed. Please stop. The huge wolf turned its eyes on me. Oh no, did I just offend it by interfering? The smaller wolf took advantage of the distraction and escaped into the trees. The larger one turned and began walking toward me. My heart pounded. It stood a safe distance away, watching me. Please, I begged again, don't hurt me. I'm pregnant. My baby is innocent. I also have a younger brother. He needs me, please. My voice cracked as tears streamed down my face. The massive wolf stepped closer. I could feel its hot breath brush my face. Compared to its towering frame, I felt so small, so fragile. It didn't attack. Instead, it stepped back and lifted its head to the sky, letting out a deep, haunting howl. Seconds later, it came back to me. I held my breath, bracing myself again. But instead of hurting me, it bent down and started licking my swollen, broken ankle. Its tongue was rough and warm, heavy with saliva. But as it finished, the pain vanished. I blinked. Was this real? I was still shaking, still terrified, but it looked straight into my eyes, calm, intentional, as if telling me it wouldn't harm me. And something about its eyes. They felt familiar. I didn't know how, but I had seen them before. I stopped trembling. For the first time, I felt safe. But just as I began to trust that moment, the wolf turned and sprinted toward the woods, as if running away from me. No, wait, I shouted, panicked. Don't leave me here alone. It stopped, turned its head, and looked at me. Please, don't go, I whispered, tears choking my voice. I'm scared. It turned fully toward me, and my heart lifted with hope, only for it to dash again as it suddenly spun and vanished into the trees without even looking back. Katrina, wake up, I heard Sandra's voice calling, distant and echoing. I snapped my eyes open and sat up, breathing hard. Katrina, are you okay? She asked, touching my shoulder. I looked around, confused. It was just a dream, but it felt so real. Did you have a bad dream? Sandra asked as I stirred awake. I think so, I mumbled, sinking deeper into the pillow. What was it about? I hesitated. I was in the woods with a beautiful woman. She was about to tell me something about Jayden. Then a wolf appeared. It tried to kill her, and me. It was too much. I don't want to talk about it now. It felt too real. What time is it? I asked, rubbing my temple. 6:52. I blinked. Wait, I slept for 7 hours? After a long bath, I headed downstairs for something to eat. Godmother joined me at the table. Hey, beautiful, how are you feeling today? She asked with her usual warm smile. I'm fine, Godmother. Thank you. We were served chicken, rice, and salad. The food was good, but I couldn't enjoy it fully. Everyone kept sneaking glances at me, whispering like I had grown horns overnight. Why do you all keep staring whenever I come to eat? Haven't you seen a black woman before? I joked to lighten the tension. Are you our alpha's mate? Two teenage girls blurted in unison. They were the same height, same age, probably twins. Mate? I asked, completely lost. What's that supposed to mean? One of them snorted. Told you, she's really human. Okay, girls, that's enough, Godmother scolded. They shut up immediately. Then one of them pushed further. Are you really pregnant with our alpha's baby? My eyes widened in shock. Girls! Godmother's voice snapped sharply. I turned to Sandra with pure confusion on my face. She looked pale. I'm taking Catriona out for a walk. We have something to do, she stammered, grabbing my arm and leading me outside to the porch. Once we were alone, I turned to her. How did those girls know I'm pregnant? I thought it was only you, me, and Jayden who knew. Did you tell them? She raised her hands, placing them gently on my belly. I swear on this baby, I didn't tell anyone. What are you doing? I snapped, brushing her hands away. If you didn't tell them, then how the hell do they know? You're human. You wouldn't understand any of this, she muttered. I heard that, I said firmly. She looked startled. You did? Yeah, now do me a favor and explain. Why do you all keep calling me human like it's some kind of insult? I have a name. She hesitated. Because you're a guest here. That's what we call guests. I squinted at her, not buying it. She cleared her throat. We call our guests human. I burst into laughter. That's the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard. Human, huh? Sandra, we're all human. And I've been here for a month and a half. She quickly changed the topic. So, Katrina, how did you meet the alpha? She asked. You don't know why I came here? No, I don't, she replied. I blinked. So, Jayden hadn't told them. Well, if he didn't tell you, I have no right to. If you say so. I heard you speaking to your brother earlier. Do you have other siblings? She asked. No, just him. He's a brave little boy, and I'm so proud of him. His surgery's on Monday. I'll pray for it to go well. It will go well. Thanks for the prayers. How old is he? 9. Ah, he's still a baby. And you? How old are you? 25. She blinked. What? I asked. You're older than me? She replied. I'm 23. All this time, I thought I was the big sister. Well, from now on, call me big sister, I said, teasing. We both laughed. I cleared my throat. So, Sandra, do you know how old Jayden is? She shook her head. Honestly, I don't. I'd be lying if I guessed. So you don't know. I sighed, defeated. What about your parents? She asked. Let's not talk about that, please. My voice cracked a little. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's okay. You didn't hurt me. I just don't want to go there. I forced a smile. Okay. About me then? I've got siblings, but they're not here. I don't even know where they are. We got separated by... She stopped and looked away. It's okay. You don't have to talk about it either. She nodded, eyes lost in thought. Want some salty snacks? I asked, nudging her. Yes, ma'am. She gave me a silly grin, head tilted down. You're funny, Sandra. I fetched the snacks and we headed to the poolside, sitting on a wooden swing bench. It's breezy out here, I said. It is, she replied distantly. Then suddenly, she sniffed the air. Why are you sniffing the air? What are you, a dog? She didn't laugh. Instead, she jumped off the swing and grabbed my hand. Let's go inside. But it's nice out here. I want to stay a bit longer. Another time, Katrina. It's not safe right now. She was nervous. Too nervous. She rushed me inside and told me to lock my door. As I stepped into the elevator, I saw large men rushing outside. What's going on? I asked. Nothing. Just go upstairs and lock yourself in. Okay. The elevator stopped on the 6th floor. As I stepped out, a door swung open, and a completely naked man stepped out. "Oh my God," I screamed, slapping both hands over my eyes. Excuse me, I need to leave," he said calmly. I slowly peeled my fingers away from my eyes, willing them to stay on his face. He had green eyes, broad shoulders, and sweat gleaming on his skin. I recognized him, Jayden's brother. "Why are you naked out here?" I asked, eyes locked on his face like it was the last safe place on earth. He glanced at himself, unbothered. "I'm sorry. I'm in a rush. You're blocking the way." I stepped aside, mortified. As soon as I got to my room, I slammed the door shut and locked it. My cheeks were burning. What the hell was that? Who just casually walks around naked like that? I mean, he was hot. But Jayden is still way hotter. This whole place is just full of surprises. I walked to the balcony and kept eating my snacks. Then my phone rang. "Jayden." "Hello?" "Where are you?" he asked. No hello, just straight up demanding. "On the balcony." "Go back inside and lock both doors. Now." I frowned. What is wrong with all of you? Why are you treating me like I'm a damn child? Just because there's a contract doesn't mean you get to boss me around. "Katrina, listen to me." I hung up. Then I texted Miss Olivier to check on Edrine. She said everything was fine. I turned on the TV. Nothing good. Turned it off. Jayden called again. I ignored it. I didn't want to turn off my phone, though, in case something happened to Edrine. So I did my makeup, styled my braids, put on a cute outfit, and had a mini photo shoot. Posted the best pics on Instagram. Likes and comments started flooding in. A knock came at the door. "Katrina, are you asleep?" Sandra's voice. I stayed quiet. She kept knocking until I finally opened the door. "Sandra, I want to sleep. Tell your alpha that I locked all the doors if he's the one who sent you." I shut the door on her again. I leaned against it, sighing. Who the hell is Sophia? And what's her connection to Jayden? Another loud bang on the door. "Katrina, who did you just say now?"
Jayden's point of view.
I gave up on calling Katrina. After several unanswered calls and her hanging up on me, I knew she was angry. I get it. We told her to stay in her room and lock herself in. I was just trying to protect her. Jerome told me rogues were roaming around the pack house, but after a thorough inspection, he said they weren't a threat. Still, I asked Sandra to check on Katrina and let me know how she was doing. The next night, after completing some of the tasks I came here for, I told everyone to prepare for the fight. I couldn't wait 5 more days. I had too much on my plate. I needed to get this over with. I had my own pack to run. Jerome is my beta, and I trust him completely. He can manage the house in my absence. He's a good leader. The pack loves him. But still, I need to be there. I'm the alpha. What's weighing heavily on me now is Katrina and my unborn son. When she asked me if I was happy about the pregnancy, I didn't answer. Truth is, I didn't know what to say at that moment. But deep inside, yes, I'm happy I'm going to have to be a father. The real question is, will I be a good one? Will I even have time to raise him? Being an alpha is more than a title. It's an endless responsibility. It's war. It's sacrifice. Later in the bedroom I'd been given, I received a text from Katrina. "I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. They want to do an ultrasound." "All right, be careful," I texted back. A knock came at the door. "Come in," I said. Another alpha from a neighboring state entered, bowing his head respectfully. "Alpha, the fight will begin in a few minutes," he said. "What time is it?" "Almost midnight." I followed him out to the grounds where the fight would take place. Jerome did a great job setting this up. Everyone expected the fight to be 2 days later. I moved it earlier, caught them off guard. I wanted raw strength, not rehearsed strategy. 10 strong wolves, all with alpha blood, stood ready. They would fight until only 2 remained. Then those 2 would face off. One final battle to crown the new alpha of the strong blood pack. They bowed when I arrived and took my seat. Then silence fell. 10 wolves shifted and lunged at each other. They were powerful, each one determined, but one caught my eye. a black wolf with a brown tail. His movements were calculated and precise, unlike the others. Soon, 8 were down. The 2 remaining were both black wolves. Only one had a brown tail. They clashed, teeth snapping, blood flying. The crowd howled in wild support. It was brutal. Finally, the brown-tailed wolf fell. The other stood victorious. They shifted back to human form and bowed to me. I approached them. "What are your names?" "I am Paul Jones, Alpha," the victor said. "I'm Rain," said the other. I turned to the crowd. "I hereby declare Paul Jones the new Alpha of the Strong Blood Pack. Rain will serve as his beta." Then I looked Rain in the eyes. "Don't be discouraged. You carry Alpha blood, and that means something. As beta, you must protect and respect your Alpha. Losing doesn't mean weakness. This is your pack, your family. Do you understand?" "Yes, Alpha," he said, bowing. "Good." They shook hands and embraced. The crowd erupted in cheers and howls. I patted both on the shoulder and returned to my seat. A moment of silence followed. Then all heads bowed and the pack chanted in unison, "Long live Alpha." When it was over, it was deep into the night. All I wanted was sleep. Paul approached me again. "Let's talk tomorrow," I said. "I need rest, and so do all of you." "As you wish, Alpha." Tomorrow I had work with the other Alphas. Then I needed to check on the werewolf school. I took a hot shower and slid into bed, completely drained. "Finish up and let's go home," my wolf murmured. "I miss her." I smirked. "Don't start now," I muttered, mentally blocking him before he said more. I was running in the woods, chasing my wolf. He was chasing something too. He stopped near a strange pond. It smelled rotten, disturbing. As I moved closer, I noticed the pond's bottom looked cracked, like broken glass. Through it, I saw strands of hair swaying beneath, as if someone was trapped beneath the surface. A strange sadness washed over me, though I didn't know why. Suddenly, my wolf bolted. I tried to follow, but I was stuck, sinking into mud that hadn't been there a second ago. Then came the sounds. Angry wolves fighting, blood spraying, cruel laughter echoing. I knew those voices. I hated them. I covered my ears, but it didn't help. I closed my eyes and thought of her. Katrina. Why now? I almost blocked the thought of her. But then I remembered her smile, and with that, it began to drizzle. The noise vanished. When I opened my eyes, I saw her, riding on the back of my wolf, like a goddess. She looked like she belonged there. Her form fit perfectly on his back. She smiled, softly, dimples deepening. She raised her hand toward me. "Don't run from me. I'll always be there to protect you." I wanted to go to her, but I held back. I didn't want her to see how vulnerable I really was. I've had the worst relationships. I can't risk hurting her too. She's human. I should protect her. Not the other way around. But then her smile faded. "Don't underestimate me, Jayden Evers. You don't know my weight." I turned to walk away. "Even if you don't want me in your life, I will protect you and your people. That is my vow." Then I heard it, another voice. "Don't push her away, son. She's the one." I turned. It was my mother. I woke up, rubbing my eyes in frustration. "What kind of dream was that?" I muttered. But I smiled. I'd seen my mother again. After a quick shower, I dressed. It was already 8 a.m., 2 hours later than usual. No time for breakfast. I had work to finish. The sooner I was done, the sooner I could go home to my mate. I called Paul and gave him guidance as the new Alpha. Then I met with the other Alphas to complete our affairs. It took hours, but we finally wrapped it up. Later, we drove to the school. Inside, I met the principal I'd appointed. "The reports say student numbers keep increasing monthly," I said. "Yes, Alpha." "Why is that?" "I believe they're getting bitten by rogues." "You believe?" I narrowed my eyes. "I'm sorry, they're getting bitten." "And the dormitories?" "They're nearly full." "I'll handle it," I told him. "Assign qualified students to patrol duty." "Yes, Alpha." "And the newly transformed students, how are they coping?" Some panic and try to escape. We find them unconscious in the woods or along the roads. So you don't have enough security? He dropped his eyes. Fix it. Secure every corner of the school. Don't leave those kids alone during their transformations. It's the worst moment of their lives. They need support. Make a list of all requirements and get it to me. Yes, Alpha. We'll do as you say. Good. By the next time I return, I expect results. I spent the day handling issues at the school, including plans for more dormitories. My phone had been on silent since morning. I'd done it on purpose. Too much was going on, and I didn't want any distractions. When I finally picked it up, I saw 11 missed calls and one message from Katrina, along with 5 missed calls from Sandra. My heart skipped. Please don't let it be bad news. I opened Katrina's message before calling her. Since you refuse to answer my calls, I'll just say it here. I could almost picture her frowning at the screen, fingers moving stiffly across the keyboard, trying to stay calm but clearly pissed. That image made me smile. I kept reading. I'm pregnant with twins. I was in my car heading back to the pack house. My mind still struggled to wrap itself around the news. Katrina was pregnant with twins. Twins. How the hell did that happen? I prayed for one son, and the moon goddess laughed and doubled it. It was 1 a.m., the wind howling through the trees, warning of a storm. The forecast said it would rain heavily in 2 hours, but I couldn't wait. I had to see her. No, not her. My surrogate, I corrected myself. Keep lying to yourself, human, my wolf scoffed. I connected the Bluetooth and called Jerome. The phone rang, but he didn't pick up. I tried again. Voicemail. Where the hell is that fool? I slammed my foot on the gas, driving through the dark forest road that led home. By the time I reached the pack house, it was 2 a.m., and light rain had started to fall. The gates opened automatically. I parked and noticed Katrina's bedroom light was still on. What is she still doing up, I wondered. As I walked inside, I passed Jerome's room, planning to deal with him after I checked on Katrina. But just as I turned, Sandra appeared in the hallway. She looked shocked to see me. Alpha, we expected you on Sunday, she said. I finished what I had to do, I replied coldly. We called you so many times, but you didn't answer. I'm your Alpha, Sandra. I don't owe anyone an explanation for why I don't pick up. She bowed. I'm sorry, Alpha. Why is Katrina awake at this hour? Sandra looked puzzled. She's been having trouble sleeping, but she's asleep now. All right, go rest. She nodded and left. I decided not to disturb Katrina and turned back to Jerome's room. He opened the door before I knocked. Of course, he sensed me. Alpha, he said. Why didn't you answer my calls? I left my phone downstairs. You? Leaving your phone? That never happens. What's going on? He looked pale. Too pale. What happened, Jerome? You look like death. He moved aside to let me in. His room was a wreck. Claw marks everywhere. His wolf had snapped. It's Jocelyn. Her mother caught us. Having sex. She took her away. I don't think she's coming back this time. What? How did she even get in? I don't know, I sighed. Jerome, as your friend and your brother, I think it's time to let her go. He glared at me. There's no mate bond. You know it. Your wolf knows it. You don't want to hear this, but Jocelyn doesn't love you. She's after something. Jayden, that's enough. No, it's not. I fucking love you, man. I don't want to see you hurt. Her family hates you, and no matter what you do, they'll never give her to you. Wake up. I looked at him, truly looked. This man had been through hell. I found him starving on the streets. I used to sneak him into my room at night until my adoptive parents found out. They didn't adopt him, but they gave him food, shelter, and a future. I kissed his forehead and left. Back in my room, I took a shower and stood by the window, watching the heavy rain and lightning. I crawled into bed, exhausted. The next morning, after the gym and a quick shower, I went to check on Katrina. I knocked 3 times, no answer. I opened the door. Empty. I mind-linked Sandra. Where's Katrina? Downstairs, Alpha. Asterisk. Tell her to come to my office. Alone. Yes, Alpha. I waited 25 minutes. She finally knocked. Come in. She walked in, still in her long pajamas. Good morning, Miss Katrina. Good morning to you too. What took you so long? I was having breakfast. Have a seat. We need to talk. She sat across from me. I also wanted to talk to you, she began. But I expected you on Sunday. Well, I'm here now. Catriona, I hired you to give me one son. Neither of us expected twins. But I want them, and I'll give you an additional $150,000 for the second baby. My wolf stayed silent. That surprised me. I don't want more money, Mr. Jayden. That stunned me. I want to be part of their lives. I don't want the extra money. Even the first payment. You can have it back. All I want is permission to be their mother. Please. Tears glistened in her eyes. You don't have to return anything. And yes, if that's what you want, you'll be in their lives. Her eyes widened. You mean it? Yes, we made them together. Naturally. Her cheeks flushed. Thank you. You said you had breakfast. Now you're going again? I'm still hungry, she said, grinning. Are you coming? No, not hungry. Are you okay? I'm fine. Go ahead. Tell the others to eat too. Okay, she said and left. I picked up my phone to call the school architect when Jerome entered. Alpha, got a minute? He sat down. Before I could answer him, I received a mind link from Aaliyah. Alpha, did you send Katrina to tell us to have breakfast without you? I opened a pack-wide mind link. Listen up. If Katrina tells you something, it's as if it came from me. She is my mate, the mother of my unborn children. You will respect her and obey her. Understand? Yes, Alpha, the chorus echoed. Jerome looked stunned. I didn't know she was your mate. Now you do. Respect her. Before he could reply, a loud thud hit the glass. We jumped to our feet. The office window had a deep crack. This was reinforced glass. It shouldn't break that easily. I opened the left panel and immediately caught two scents. Jerome tensed beside me. Werewolf and vampire. Something was wrong. Very wrong.
Katrina's point of view.
I came out of his office grinning like a fool. I was so happy that he listened to me and accepted me as the mother of the babies growing in my womb. I had been worried sick day and night about how he would react when I told him how I felt. I thought he'd be angry, but thank God he wasn't. I went downstairs to the dining room for a second breakfast. Everyone was there, waiting patiently as usual for their alpha. I sat down comfortably, still wearing a wide smile. Both Sandra and Godmother gave me a long stare. Good news? They both asked at the same time. Something like that, I answered, still smiling. I had been smiling since I left his office, and now my cheeks were starting to hurt. Congratulations, honey, on your twins, said Godmother. Thank you, Godmother, I replied. Anyway, Jayden told me, your alpha told me to tell you all that you can have breakfast without him. He's not hungry, so don't wait for him. They all looked at me like I'd grown two heads. Why are you all staring at me like that? Didn't you hear what I said? I asked, confused, thinking maybe they hadn't heard me. Let me confirm first, said one of the girls. The same one who had asked me last time if I was their alpha's mate. So you don't believe me? I asked, feeling a bit annoyed. I shunned them and continued eating my breakfast while waiting for her to call Jayden and confirm. Everyone who had been murmuring suddenly went silent, as if they were listening to something. After about 10 seconds, they all turned their heads and pinned their eyes on me. I stared back at them, suspicious. It took them 2 whole minutes before they looked away and started eating again, though a few eyes kept sneaking glances at me. You're all weird. Do you know that? I told them. One of the girls cleared her throat. Miss Katrina, my name is Aaliyah, and she's my twin sister, Aliyah. We'd like to become your friends. So, you're twin sisters? I thought so. You do look a little alike, I said. So, should we be your friends? She asked. Sure, we can be friends, I replied. They both jumped up from their seats and hugged each other. I finished eating my ham and egg cups, but I still wasn't full. I leaned over and whispered in Sandra's ear, Can I have Jayden's breakfast too? I'm still hungry. Sandra chuckled. Sandra, I'm serious. I'm still hungry. It feels like I didn't eat anything, I told her. Of course, you can have it too, she said. Okay, but why did you chuckle? I asked. It's just that you didn't have to whisper. I'm not the only one you whispered to, she said. What do you mean? I asked. I meant that it's not something you should be embarrassed about. We all know pregnant women eat a lot, she said. We finished eating and were about to leave the dining room when people suddenly started rushing outside. Only kids, teenagers, and the elderly stayed behind. I stood up and followed the crowd. It wasn't the first time I had seen them act like this, but today I had to see it for myself. Where do you think you're going? Sandra asked, grabbing my arm. I'm going to see where they're going, I replied, shaking off her grasp and continuing. I didn't know what came over me, but I had to find out today. I followed the others, trying to keep pace, but they were too fast. Sandra and a few others followed behind me. I saw people heading in different directions toward various corners of the estate. I stopped in my tracks when I saw a massive wolf lying on the ground, lifeless and covered in blood. Jayden and his brother stood on either side of it. I gasped in terror. I had never seen a wolf that big. Jayden and his brother shifted their gazes from the wolf to me. Jayden shot a deadly look at Sandra and the others. Katrina, let's go back inside, Sandra said. Yes, ma'am. Let's go back inside, please, someone else pleaded. But I ignored them and took a step closer to Jayden. When he saw me moving toward him, he came forward. Katrina Evers, what are you doing here? He asked in a low, angry tone. I wanted to see. Come with me, he said, grabbing my hand and dragging me inside. As we walked, I glanced around and saw the men I had followed earlier coming out of the woods, naked. My mouth dropped open and I quickly closed it. Why are they naked? I asked, shocked. Jayden followed my gaze and saw them too. His jaw clenched. He paused for a moment, then dragged me into the elevator with him. Why are you acting like this? I asked. Why did you go outside? He asked instead. I was curious. I wanted to know why those men suddenly rushed out. It's not the first time I've seen them do that, I explained. Where did that wolf come from? Why was it so big? Is it a normal wolf? And why were those men naked in this cold morning? They rushed out wearing clothes. I bombarded him with questions, but he didn't answer any of them. Ding. The elevator door opened. He pulled me through the hallway to his bedroom, opened the door, and locked it behind us. Jayden, what are you doing? Why did you lock the door? I asked, starting to feel scared. He sat me down on the bed and stared at me with intensity. If I had been standing, I would have stumbled back. You're draining me, he muttered, furrowing his brows. You're draining my blood by standing there and staring at me like that, I replied. He knelt on one knee and looked at me with an unreadable expression. He was so close that I started feeling sensations I didn't want to admit. I cleared my throat. My bladder is full. I need to use the bathroom. I excused myself and locked the bathroom door behind me. As I sat on the toilet and let it out, a relieved sigh escaped from my lips. I quickly covered my mouth. Did he hear that? I hope not. That's embarrassing. His bathroom smelled just like him. Masculine, comforting. I flushed the toilet and opened the door. Jesus, I gasped. He was standing right in front of the door with one hand resting on the wall. Did it feel good to pee? You let out a relief moan, he said. It wasn't a moan, I blurted, covering my blushing cheeks. He straightened up and said, We need to talk. I walked back into the bedroom, sat on the couch, and he remained standing. I want you to hear me out, Katrina. Don't go outside without permission. It's dangerous here. We're deep in the woods, and there are many dangerous animals. Wolves like the one you saw. I don't want you to get hurt or killed. You and the babies in your womb mean a lot to me, he said. Did you just say our babies? I asked. He paused, then replied, Yes, there are babies. Tears blurred my vision. His tenderness overwhelmed me. He held my hand and helped me up. Then he cupped my face in his large palms and wiped away my tears. Why are you crying, princess? I opened my mouth but couldn't speak. I had no words. You don't have to cry. We'll raise these babies together as their parents. They'll have a mom and a dad, he said. Why are you doing this to me? I whispered. He lowered himself to my level and kissed me gently. I melted into the kiss, letting his tongue deepen it. He pushed me backward onto the bed. I lay on my back and he hovered above me, his eyes dark with lust. I wanted him. I wanted to feel his skin on mine. As if reading my mind, he spread my legs and told me to take off my pajama top. I did. I lifted myself slightly to unhook my bra, but he stopped me. I'll do it. His fingers skimmed my skin, sending shivers down my spine. Why do you affect me so much? I wondered silently. You do the same to me, he said out loud. I wanted to ask what he meant, but my voice wouldn't cooperate. He unhooked my bra and tossed it aside. Be careful with them. They're sore from the pregnancy, I told him. I will, he said, and began rubbing them gently. My nipples were already hard when he brought his lips to them. I couldn't hold in my moan. He trailed his right hand down into my pants. His fingers brushed my wetness, and he smiled. You're dripping wet, he said huskily. He pushed my pants down to my thighs and began circling my clit with his fingers while his mouth teased my nipple. I arched my back, moaning. You love that? He asked, still focused on my nipple. Yes, I love it. Don't stop, I moaned. If you don't want me to stop, then moan my name until you come on my fingers, he said, sliding them into my wet core. I was so wet that he added a third finger, and I lost it. His fingers were huge, working deep inside me. I could feel everything. His bulge pressed hard against me, fully aroused. I wanted to touch it, but I couldn't reach it, so I used my leg to rub against it instead. I was so caught up in my own pleasure, in the moans spilling from my lips, that I didn't even realize what I was doing. My leg brushed against his bulge, slow and deliberate. He hissed through clenched teeth. Then he looked up at me, eyes dark and wild, and crashed his lips back onto mine, silencing my loud moans with a kiss that devoured everything. I told you to moan my name, he growled against my lips. Now I'm ordering you. You understand? Yes, sir? Yes, sir? Oh God, where the hell did asterisk sir asterisk come from? The second I said it, everything changed. He became rough, almost brutal. His fingers slammed into me with purpose, exploring every inch of my inner world. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. Could only moan his name as the orgasm tore through me. It took a while for the tremors to settle, for my body to calm. When he finally pulled his fingers out, they were soaked in my wetness, dripping onto the sheets. Fuck, he muttered, his voice low and reverent. You're so fucking amazing down there. He brought his fingers to his mouth and sucked them dry, not breaking eye contact. You taste lovely. Then he kissed me again, hungry, desperate, like he couldn't get enough. He broke the kiss just long enough to yank off his shirt. I reached for his jeans, unclasped them, and slid my arm inside. I pushed the jeans down fully and grabbed him, wrapping my hand around his rock-hard cock. A deep growl vibrated from his chest. Fuck, yes. I was about to take him out and work my mouth on him, but he suddenly grabbed my arm. Not now, he said, his voice rough and reluctant. Why? I asked, breathless. My body flushed and trembling. Just the sight of his bare torso and the feel of his hardness had me burning again. All I could think about was having him inside me, slamming into me like there was no tomorrow. I'm sorry, Katrina, he said. I have to go finish something. He started to move off me, but I slid my hand back into his jeans and wrapped my arms around him, holding him tight. Jayden, don't leave like this, I pleaded. We can't stop halfway. I want you now. I want to give you the pleasure you just gave me. Let's finish what we started. Then you can leave. My voice shook with need, with desperation. He gently loosened my grip and stood up, the bulge in his jeans still pressing against the fabric. I yanked the white sheet and covered myself in frustration, biting back my disappointment. He paused when he saw my expression and walked over to me. I'm really sorry for leaving you like this, he said. I'll make it up to you tonight, but I'm needed urgently now. He turned to go. I called after him, pointing at his obvious hard-on. Are you going like that? He glanced down at himself once, then disappeared into the bathroom. I heard the sound of water running, and then the door unlocking, and then he was gone. I sat up straight, and then fell back onto the bed. Oh, Lord. What did I just do? What the hell has gotten into me? We signed a contract. No sex after pregnancy. If he hadn't stopped, would we really have gone all the way? I trailed my fingers down the same path he had taken on my body. My nipples were still sensitive, tingling with leftover lust. And my cunt, God, it ached. It throbbed for more of him, more of his everything. Are we really going to do it tonight?
Jayden's point of view.
I stormed out of my bedroom, leaving Katrina breathless and needy behind me. I hated walking away from her like that, especially with my pants tight and painful from how badly I wanted her. But Jerome had mind-linked me mid-thrust, saying there was something I needed to see. I followed his signal down to the second basement, the torture room. He stood beside a body sprawled on the floor, a dead wolf. The look on Jerome's face, worried, and that was rare for him. "Jerome, what is it?" I asked, approaching him. He didn't meet my eyes. "Alpha, come here. You need to see this." I knelt beside the body, thick fur matted with blood, the scent of death lingering heavy in the air. But under the neck, there it was, a mark I knew too well. "That's Alfredo's crest," Jerome said lowly, "the vampire king, as they call him." I stood slowly, eyes still locked on the body. "This is bad," I muttered. "Whoever did this, it was one of Alfredo's men. But why? Why now after all these years?" Jerome shook his head. "I don't know, Alpha, but I've already doubled patrols." My hands clenched into fists. 30 years ago, Jerome, Alfredo, and I were close. Brothers almost. We met Alfredo in college. Back then, he wasn't a vampire. Just a quiet, lonely man with shadows in his eyes. We brought him into our world, told him our secrets, and trusted him with everything. We did shady work together, no questions asked. We even shared women. And I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is. We were unstoppable until he was bitten, turned. Everything changed. He betrayed us, destroyed everything, hurt people I loved, took what was mine. "Alpha," Jerome's voice snapped me back. "Are you okay?" I nodded once. Lying. "What do we do with the body?" "You know I'll take care of it," Jerome said, bowing slightly. "But I'm worried about you, Alpha." I offered him a tired glance. "I'm fine. He won't try anything." Lie number 2. I went back upstairs into my office, slumped onto the couch and stared at the sky through the glass wall. I told Jerome I was fine, but the truth was, I was agitated, on edge. The name Alfredo still tasted like blood in my mouth. I wanted peace, a child, a chance to leave the past behind. Catriona. She brought hope, even if she was only a surrogate. But now I realize I was only lying to myself. I'll have to let her go after she gives birth. It's the only way to keep her safe. Alfredo won't hurt me. He'll come for her. I know him. I know what he's capable of. My office phone rang. I stood, crossed the room, and picked it up. "Hello?" "Greetings, Alpha. It's Principal Joey. I tried calling your mobile, but it's off." "Get to the point," I said, voice tight with frustration. "The construction has started. We received 16 new students today." I closed my eyes, irritation bubbling in my chest. "Is that why you called? I put you in charge. If you can't handle it, just say so, and I'll find someone who can." I'm sorry, Alpha. That's not why I called." His voice lowered. 4 of them were vampires. My blood ran cold. "And? I sent them back, Alpha, of course. But I thought you should know." I hung up the phone. Jerome entered just as I turned to the shattered window. I didn't even remember punching it, but glass lay scattered across the floor. "I took care of the body," Jerome said. "Good. I need you to go to school. Find out what the hell is happening there." "Yes, Alpha." I turned to him. "Thank you, truly, for your loyalty, for staying." He bowed his head. "I vowed to serve you, no matter the obstacles." I was about to hug him when movement outside caught my eye. 3 men, laughing, waving. Bloodsuckers. And the one waving? Katrina. What the? I muttered. She waved back, smiling. My body moved before my brain could catch up. I reached her room and found her lounging on the balcony swing. She looked up in surprise. I grabbed her wrist. Something fell from her hands as she stumbled, nearly falling, but I caught her. The vampires vanished into the woods. Cowards. I slammed the balcony door shut and dragged her inside. "What's wrong with you, Jayden?" she yelled, trying to pull away. Sandra entered the hallway, but I mind-linked her to stay out. Katrina shook free and sat at the edge of the bed. "Are you crazy? Do you want to kill me? I'm pregnant. With twins, Jayden, your children. You and your people keep treating me like trash, and I've had enough." I ignored her rant, teeth clenched. "How do you know those bloodsuckers?" "What? Who?" "The ones you were waving at." "You mean the guy outside?" He smiled at me before. I was being polite. "They're not one of us. From now on, you do not speak to them, you don't wave, you don't look at them." She scoffed. "You're not my husband. You don't own me. You can't tell me who to talk to." Those words pierced through me. I moved fast, grabbing her shoulders. "You are mine, my mate. The only one I want smiling at anyone is me." She winced. "Jayden, let go. You're hurting me." I didn't, couldn't. My grip tightened. "You're ours, mine and our children's. You belong with us, to us." "My mate agrees," my wolf snarled through me. Her eyes filled with fear. Her lips trembled. Then it happened. An invisible force burst out of her shoulders, an electric wave that threw me off and slammed me into the wall. I stood up, dazed, my hands still tingling. She was crying. "Don't hurt me," she whispered. "If I'm really your woman, then act like it. No real man hurts the one he claims to love." And then she collapsed. What the actual hell just happened?